All right, so I wanted to give an update about where are we with the bike and specifically the Nitrous install. So a quick update. I think I may have a few videos to share, or maybe a couple time lapse to share some of the progress I made over the week. But essentially, I just didn't want to bore people. This is not a how-to video, so what I was gonna do is just to pinpoint some of the things that I feel are important for people to understand about how the installation went, some of the decisions that I made, and discoveries that I made as well. So long story short, this is where we at. Essentially, I finished the installation at this point, so I'm just at a point where I just need to fill the bottle just so I can check for leaks. And once I know that there's no leaks, I'm just gonna start putting everything back, and then we should be, good to go. So long story short, if I look at in here, I know it's kind of hard just to see, but everything is going to be in the trunk. So you have your solenoid that's going to be injecting to the air box through the Teflon line, which goes through here, then just go all the way through here to the bottom. Just making sure that it doesn't get pinched, and then all the way to the airbox. I just have to avoid everything stuffing going inside of the runner. So none of these change. So same setup, having the two foggers, or however you want to call it, the foggers going to the airbox, and then just the second solenoid, which is on the T. This one has a line coming out of the solenoid. This is the in, and then this one is turning and then just going back. And if we take a look at this is where we see the purge valve that I bought, which have a stream coming out in a V-shaped, and this is just a billet piece. So finally put in place, and then it has a 90. See, there's a 90 going to the line, and then the bottle that's actually feeding the entire system actually comes this way. Goes underneath all this in here that comes out of the fairing, and then it has another 90, and then it comes inside. And I think I explained before that when I'm still gonna be messing up with this line in here, but when I'm going to fill the bottle, I'm just gonna simply just turn it and unscrew it, and then the kit from Dynajet actually came with a adapter that I'm just gonna put in here, which is the adapter you're gonna use when you're refilling the bottle. And so then I'm just gonna screw it again, because I'm gonna leave it in here for now, and that should be all there is for the system. So I guess some of the topics, I bent the bracket that came with the system just at a 90, so I can make sure that I can at least make sure that the solenoids were not going to be bouncing around in the trunk. I've seen installations on Hayabusas, and they really have a lot of space in here that they can manage to fit the solenoids in a better way. They are not going anywhere. Look how much pressure I'm applying, and they're not barely moving. So this is actually doing a great job, and I already make sure that the rear seat is actually going in without any interruption, as well as the front seat. So now, another thing that I want to share is, I guess, the electric setup. In order to put the power to the button, to the perch button, as well as power to, of course, the solenoids and the one injecting the nitrous to the airbox and everything. So I added two circuits. So I have new circuits coming out of the fuse box, and I modify the actual fuse box just so the cables can come out, and I can still retain this the lid of the fuse box. I didn't want to make any modification, but I figured this is something that I can easily just replace later. A couple bucks in on eBay, so that should not be that big of a thing. So power already going. And then I have all the negative connections, and both of the solenoids are actually working, and I'm gonna show them in a second. And I guess I also made and another thing, which is just building this bracket, which this is temporary, as well as this. This is actually, this is the one holding the bracket down. This is not doing anything. I just need to remove this bolt But essentially, I have in case you have never been on a track, or maybe just doing this type of thing, when you are at a track, like honestly, you get nervous, so that all takes, it just pull a lot of your focus when you are, in the line, making sure that you have a perfect launch or whatever. So it's very important for me just to know what position is, nitrous versus the horn. So in case you didn't remember, I'm going to be using the horn button to be able to get the system on and being able to inject the nitrous on the airbox and on the motor itself. And then this is the purge button. I don't need a label, but I thought it was cool. So this is where I decided just to put my purge button. They are, pretty easy accessible. This is something that I can easily remove. If I don't want to use the system, I can just remove this with a bolt, and I can just unhook the connections, the electrical connection from each of the buttons, from like this one, and then I can just, remove it. So super easy. And then for those who are curious about how the connection goes from the horn to just to enable to use the horn, as well as using the same button for the connection of for the use of the nitrous, then this is how it looks on the horn. So as you can see, the negative on the horn has a new lead that goes to the back of the toggle switch, and then I intervene the positive of actually the negative from going to the horn, and then I have another lead going to the toggle switch as well. So maybe I can give you a quick look of how it looks at the bottom. So I actually have a couple labels just to remember where the cables go and make sure that I have a clean install. But for now, I think this works, and this is how you repurpose or make sure that you do not lose the ability to use your horn, and then you can use the horn button to just use the nitrous, and then whenever you're racing or making a pass. So that's how it looks. On one thing that I have to do, all the cables are going through the same route as the existing cable from the throttle, so I actually reuse the same route. So the only thing I'm just gonna do is just get a snake, so I can just get all these cables in a snake and make sure that they are out of the way. And cables are, as of right now, in a pretty decent shape. So I'm just gonna show people how this works. So I'm not gonna have any nitrous actually right now, because that's another topic that I wanted to cover on this video. So now ignition is on. So this is on the toggle switch is on the nitrous side. So if I click on the horn button, you should be hearing the clicking of the solenoid. Check this out. So that's the solenoid, and you can hear it. So that's the solenoid going on, and then I have the second one on the perch. So yeah, when I click on that one, you can hear it. So you can hear it here. Perfect. So they're both working and getting the signal. And now if I were to move the toggle to the horn, I'm not gonna get a solenoid action anymore. So I'm just gonna get the horn. So that's how it works. So pretty trick system. I think it's served the purpose, and I'm pretty happy with how everything actually came out. So I'm very happy of to see it working. As you can see, there's a few other things that I have to do. I just have to reattach my tail tidy and all that stuff, but for the most part, the system is completely done and functional at this point. So the only thing that I'm pretty curious about is I called a couple shops this morning. I'm in Arizona, Gilbert specifically, and I called a couple shops, and I guess there is a shortage of nitrous, maybe in Arizona. I'm not sure how the situation is in different places, but there's a couple places that I found on the web that they were wholly authorized nitrous refill station systems or places, and none of them, so like for at least 3 of the 4 that I call, they were all retired from the nitrous business. And then secondly, the ones that I found, they are not willing to fill my bottle because it's a too small of a bottle. So I guess it's a hassle for them just to go through that, which I understand. I'm not complaining, not at all. I feel like there's reasons for that. So that just puts put me in a situation where I have to find some other solutions. So I'm guessing the solution I'm going to be going with is I'm just gonna have to purchase at least a 10-pound or maybe a 20-pound bottle, and then I will have to be managing the refills myself at home. So I looked into the options, and there's like multiple options. Maybe I can put a couple pictures of some of the options that are out there. Some of them comes with pumps, but they are pretty expensive, and this is not going to be the bike I'll be using with nitrous all the time. But so I don't think I'm going to be, that doesn't justify me getting an actual refill station for like $1,500. So I'm not gonna do that. That's not the route I'm going. So I did find that there's some gravity systems, which I thought, which I actually read that they have pretty decent reviews. And for the time and for how many times I'm expecting to use the nitrous on the bike, I think that, you know, it's worth it for me, because it's maybe 150 for a bottle and then 100 for the gravity system, just so I can get nitrous from one bottle to the small bottle that I'll be using on the bike. So let's see. I think that's for now what I'm going to do. I think hopefully that's a good idea and a good alternative. But at least if I want to use it, I think that's what's going to happen. So I guess can people chime in and tell me if that's the situation in some of the states? Is it hard for you to come by with, you know, night places that race shops that they can fill your nitrous, or maybe this is something specific to Arizona? I don't know. So I'm just gonna keep people, you know, filling in the process, and maybe I'll drop a couple time lapse of some of the work that I did to manage to get to this point. If there's any specific questions that you want to know about how I did with the system, what type of sealants did I use on my NPT lines versus my AN lines, or any of that, please just send a comment. I'll be more than happy to share my knowledge with people, and hopefully I can just share when I plug in the bottle the first time, and I can show people whether or not I ran into issues with leaks, and my intention is just to share as much as possible, just so I can prevent other people to make mistakes and have the best experience they can have by, you know, modifying your bike. So I changed the name of my channel, so it's no longer my name, so it's now To Mod or Not To Mod. That's the name of it. So please, if you're watching this and you enjoy what I'm doing, just subscribe, just if you want to. If not, then I hopefully I can just, you know, catch you on another video in the future. So thank you for watching this video.